Well, guys, how's it going? So it's well, it's a little after 6, but there's there ain't nothing left for snow. There's it's been yeah, it's been pretty much kind of slowly melting throughout the day, or actually the last few days, really, because we've been, you know, way above normal for temperature wise, and it's only going to get even warmer from here. It's actually just got done, I guess you could say, snowing a little bit right now, but obviously it just melts the second it hits the ground, and you can tell it's been doing that kind of, well, the mixture of that and then whatever snow that has been melting. The shop floor here in the corner, of course, by the door, you know, this shop's not waterproof or anything, so all this leaks in. There needs to be a gutter put on the outside there, but this side seems okay. But yeah, I don't know. It's just been crazy. The the freaking weather that we've been having, it's actually been, you know, it's to me, it's above normal. It really should actually be a lot colder than this, and that little bit of snow that we did get, you know, that's what should have stayed. But it's melting, obviously, so I don't know. And then they're talking after I don't know how many days, I forget exactly, but there's going to be a few days where it's going to be in the 40s. Of course, I don't know what the I don't know what the winds will be like or anything like that, but temperature wise, they're saying it could be in the low 40s and then kind of creeping up to the mid 40s and then the high 40s, and then there's actually a couple days that they're saying it could get almost 60 Fahrenheit. That's all in Fahrenheit. That's not in Celsius or whatever it is, you know, depending on wherever you're at. I live in the US, so we go by Fahrenheit. So that's kind of abnormal, I think, for especially November. And we're still in the early part of November, obviously, but you know, they're predicting the weather, you know, a good 2 weeks ahead of time, ahead of now, you know. So, but I mean, that'll change, obviously. It changes every bloody day. But my phone for a while there was saying that the highest is that it could get, even for the remaining 2 weeks, was 48. But mother's phone has been saying the total opposite. I mean, it's been pretty close, but there's those 2 days where it could, you know, her phone says that it could get almost 60, 58, you know, which you got to take into account wind, if the sun's going to be shining or not, and a bunch of other shit, right? So, yeah. The only freaking problem, I mean, I don't have too much of a problem with this stuff melting, but I don't know. I mean, it's been nice not having to move snow. I've only moved snow, you could say technically once, but on, you know, like separate days, obviously. I did my place, only half of my place, and then did a little bit at the farm, because that Pontiac, or the driveway where the Pontiac sits in, that was completely buried again, you know. But then then I went out and blew the ramp on the dike. I blew that open. I just made one round instead of like 2 or 3, Because apparently when it's wider, like if I can get my Tahoe up it, well then everybody else can get their fucking cars up it, right? And then that's where people get fucking stuck, or they get, they try to go up it because they think they can go that way, right? It's mostly just Canadians that don't know the way back out of this town. So I think one of these days I might try to get a dead end street sign put up there myself. I'll just pay for it myself, be done with it. If it stops, then it stops, and if it don't, it don't. At least there's a warning there of some kind. So, but I figured, well, if I blow it out just wide enough, to one swath of the blower, which is 54 inches, then nobody can get the car up there. They can get their snowcats and their four-wheelers and stuff up there, which is, more acceptable because they can actually handle snow and stuff, right? Whereas a car, you get that thing stuck in deep snow and then there's no way of getting out. So, so yeah, I only blew it, made one round just so I can get up there and see what's going on. Apparently deer hunting season had already started and I didn't even know it, but that would explain why everybody's been running around wearing orange. So, but I don't know. I don't think too much deer hunting will be going on, especially over there by the bridge, because I think they're still working under there, but I think they're getting pretty damn close to being done. If they're not already done, I don't know. I only check, once a week or so, or even just twice a week, just whenever I check up on the gaming camera. So, I don't know. That thing's been throwing hissy fits too. It seems like it's not recording every day like it should be, when it senses motion. It's missing a few days. I don't know why the battery life is only down to 46%, so it really should still have plenty of juice. And it's not that cold out, so I don't know. It's not going to be a very good camera, I don't think either. It'll be perfectly fine in the summertime, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to work too well in the wintertime. My other one, my junky one, did better. But whatever. So, but yeah. So that's what's been going on. Snow's been melting, which is fine by me. I'm not going to care too much. But I mean, I got a feeling that we're gonna. I mean, it's going to change at some point. At some point, it's going to get super cold out, and then it's going to snow a lot. But I don't know. It's definitely not. Definitely isn't too normal. It's pretty far from normal because I don't think we've ever had, technically 60-degree days in November. None that I can think of anyway, unless somebody around here would remember better than me, I suppose. But I don't know. I mean, we've had years where we didn't get snow until Christmas, but I think it was still plenty cold out. Like, it was colder than this. At least in the 20s and 30s. I mean, now we're getting above that. So, I don't know. I guess I'm not going to complain too much because it saves power, because I have electric heat, so my heaters don't have to work so damn hard. I got my new heater installed in my bedroom. We did that last weekend, and still had a little bit of trouble with that. We think it was the breaker, because the breaker was trying to trip itself, but yet it wasn't fully tripped and it wasn't fully on, because it's a 240 volt system, but they have it going through two breakers, and each one is I guess like 120 volts, So, but one was trying to trip, and then the other one, was still holding it. So, but my uncle thinks it was probably the heater anyway. That maybe there was something wonky with the old heater, and it was trying to trip the breaker, but yet it couldn't do it. So, because I did play around with that breaker quite a while ago, and it just didn't seem like it fixed the problem. But then when we put the new heater in, well, now the breaker works perfectly fine. So I don't know. I can't explain it. So, but it's fixed now. She's been doing her duties. Of course, stinking. It was stinking up the house there for a couple of days because it was brand new, and it was actually smelling like pancakes. It was crazy, but that's pretty much gone now too. So, but whatever. So, I don't know. Lots of other things going on. Yeah, it's been so, wet out that I can't even wear my regular winter boots because they're gonna get too muddy. So I have to wear my shit boots because those are the boots I don't care about, and plus they stay out in the garage all the time. But I just got done putting up. I put the deer up, my Christmas deers. I think it was last week, and then today I just got done putting up the little Christmas tree that goes out there. And then I put up one of my little gnome Christmas decorations. I made a video on it last winter. You guys can check that video out. But when I run for a Christmas setup, I don't really have much for Halloween stuff, but I don't know. Just wasn't really it's not a priority at the moment. So last year it was fine. I didn't have all these breakdowns and fucking problems. So it was how I was able to splurge, and get a few extra things. We kind of could use some new Christmas deers. Mine are getting pretty old. Mine have been around, well, pretty much ever since I was a kid. Because mother bought those many years ago, and they're still working perfectly fine because they're LEDs. I think that's kind of like when they first started inventing LEDs. But I haven't had a bulb blow out yet, so. But they got like these little diamonds on them, it looks like diamonds anyway, but it's fake. But they're kind of starting to turn yellow a little bit, for being so many years old. And I don't know how you can fix that. I don't think you can, unless you can find those diamonds somewhere and just put new ones on it. But other than that, it's probably just time for a new one. It's actually a mama deer and then a baby deer. So, but. Had them for many years, and they've done their job. It's probably time to just retire them, but I mean, it's hard to kind of retire them too because they're still working, But whatever. So, well, someday, maybe in a couple of years or something, we'll get new ones, or maybe get something else to go with it. But for now, yeah. So what else is going on? Well. Yeah, I've been trying to make this video for the last week, but my videos end up being like almost an hour long, and I don't feel like editing a 1 hour video. But tomorrow is pretty much the deadline for if you want to run for mayor or council member or clerk or treasurer of this town. Tomorrow is actually the deadline because tomorrow is when they're having their meeting, so. And actually, it's at the school here. That's where apparently they said that we could use their school, even though it's a private school. They said that we could use it for their town meetings. So that's what we've been doing. Because I haven't went in years. But the things they talk about are just not really on my priority list, so I don't really bother. But it's things that I really probably don't care about too much. But apparently, our town is falling apart, and everybody that is, well, falling apart in a certain way, but the people that have been running for mayor, treasurer, council member, clerk, all those people, they want to retire or they have health problems, so they got to leave, right? And so apparently, because I got a letter about this like 2 or 3 weeks ago, they said that if they don't find anybody to fill these spots, because apparently they need at least 5 people, to fill these spots. But pretty much if we don't come up with people, the town is going to fall to what they call it'd be the name of your town, but then it would be called township. So it's a Bleep Bleep township of my place, and apparently if we fall under them, then we don't get the protection that we have currently. So what I mean by protection is that we don't get any money, so no money's coming in. If our dike fails, nobody's coming to fix it. Not unless they can bill you $1 million, right? And there's a few other things too. So basically, I guess if something needs to be repaired, I think you more or less have to pay for it yourself. Whereas if you had somebody, if you're under that protection program thing, that's what I call it anyway, but it's special names, but I don't know what they are. Just roll with it. But if we had that protection plan, then if the dike was to fail due to the flood or whatever, then people can come in, repair it, and then they would only bill us for a very small amount. So instead of like $1 million, let's say, it might just be for a few grand, something like that, right? So, but apparently there's another town that's half a mile from here or whatever. That used to be there is a border crossing there, but obviously it's been shut down. But there used to be a town there too. But now I think there's only like maybe 1 or 2 people living there now, but because people had kind of just moved on because no job obviously over there. Of course, there's jobs over here, but people moved there because of the border. There was jobs there. So, but since that border shut down, no jobs. So people moved. And there's less people there now. So they couldn't find any mayors, or anything like that to run. So they don't have no protection. Their dike is in desperate need of repairs, but they would have to pay for it themselves. Well, there's only like maybe 2 people living in that town. So they don't get the protection that they need to, live there safely. Not like here. Here we can live safely because we are under a protection program, so we're safe. But if we don't have that anymore, well then the money stops. There's no protection. If we need fire or police or whatever, they can pretty much just bill you. Instead of if it was under the program, well then the program pretty much pays for that, I guess. So, but yeah, so basically we would lose our protection, Even though this is a small town, there ain't much here to really protect, but there are more people living here than any other town. Well, there's more on the North Dakota side, but they go by North Dakota rules, and they have their own mayors and shit, So they're good over there. But over here, it's a much smaller town. There's not really any businesses here. There's like maybe 2, and that's the private school, which I guess is a business. I don't know. It's a private business anyway. And then there's another one at the end of the town that it belongs to the cult members. I don't know what they do in there. I thought they built furniture or shit, but I don't know. I think they built something else, but I don't really know what they do. But it's a business. I've been in that building a couple times back in the day, but I haven't been in there recently, obviously. But yeah, so I don't know. So they were kind of looking for people to kind of, I guess, step up and whatever. I don't know who all is going to sign up. Obviously, even if I don't know personally. I don't talk to too many people in this town, so I don't really know what's going on. The people that I do want to try to talk to, they're never home, because I knew that they were on the council thing for many years, but they never answered a door, and the phone number that I have actually is no longer active. I guess they changed numbers or something. So I have no way of talking to these people. The only way you're ever going to talk to these people is you got to go to the town meetings. But I've only went to one, and that was many years ago when the cult members, they had that car business going on here in town, and they're fucking up the road something fierce. That finally made it, to the town meeting, discussing that. So, but something obviously must have happened, because they're not doing it anymore. There's a few cars over there, but it's not like it used to be. I mean, there was trucks coming in 30 times a day, you know, and 30 times a night, and it was just out of control. It was ridiculous. So, but and the roads weren't getting maintained at the same time. They were just left to rot. And then my yard got fucked up because the truckers thought that, you know, their GPSs were telling them to turn down the shop road. That's just what I call it because my shop is on it. But that's the road, you know, right here, obviously. So they would have to turn over there. Then they go into my yard. They fucked my yard up. Kept yelling at the bosses over there, you know, to do something. While their first thing was just to start talking to the truckers, getting the word around, you know, like, well, obviously that didn't do fuck all. And then the second thing they did was they put driveway markers there. Well, those things are only probably like, what, 2 or 3 feet tall? You know, so no trucker's going to see them anyway. But it didn't take long for those things to get fucking destroyed because somebody turned down that road and they just murdered them all. Ran them over, destroyed every single one of them. Couldn't even save none. So that didn't work. So then I had to bite the bullet. And I don't know, Reese 6, you probably won't remember this. You'd have to go back a couple of years probably. But if you ever wondered what these T-posts were for in my shop, with the cones on them and the reflective tape, this was my fix to stop those truckers from driving on my yard. And, you know, obviously, it's got the cones on top. They're not reflective really or anything, but they will get your attention. The reflective tape will definitely get your attention. I think they're 5 or 6 foot posts. Obviously, they're steel, obviously. They're not plastic or anything stupid like that. So I figured, well, if you're going to ruin my fucking yard, I'm going to ruin your fucking front bumper. So I took it out and I put these up. But then, as soon as they went up, then that's when the traffic started slowing down. But I left them up for a couple of years because at the time I didn't really know what they were doing. Because, you know, like I said, the traffic would slow down, but then all of a sudden it would kind of pick back up again, and it would slow down again, and then eventually it was only in the winter months they would come around, and then eventually they just stopped, you know, or it's very small now. Well, obviously these get in the way for mowing, and they get in the way for the snowplow guy, but I think the snowplow guy knew why these were here. But there goes some deer. Let's see what's going on. I don't know. But yeah, so when they started running over my yard and, you know, nobody could control these bastards, you know, these went in. But then these haven't been in now for a couple of years because, I mean, it's only happened once or twice since, you know, I pulled them out. But I just hope it doesn't pick up again. It just needs to be done with. They tried. It wasn't going to work. It was a fail. So, but that's why I don't use these for anything else in my yard or even at the farm. These are just dedicated to my place if those fuckers decide to start up again and I need to protect my lawn. So, and I usually put these far apart enough, you know, so I can get my mower deck in between them. So there's less trimming to do. That's another thing too. There's so much trimming to do all the time when you had those up, you know. So put those in or took them out and made life a little bit easier. But it also protected my yard too. But then there was no trucks, so I took them back out. So, but that's why they're there. And I won't use them for anything else except for my yard. But what are you gonna do? So, but yeah, I got, like I said, I got a piece of paper or a letter in the mail. It's handwritten, obviously, but the paper was printed on a computer or something. But the thing it was put in was handmade or whatever. But it was handwritten. But they basically just explained what would happen, you know, if there's nothing here anymore, and this town will just go to hell. Well, it's kind of already in hell already because of the certain people that are living here and are not making it any easier. But, and then there's a few other things. It's just not the people that are here, but it's people outside of here too. You know, it's a long story. I don't want to get into it because this video will be 1 hour long. So it's just not these people. It's outside that too that are a problem. But so basically, they explained everything, and they said that fill it out. They gave you a form to fill out, and they said just to fill or check mark, what you felt comfortable with doing, and if you even wanted to run, you don't have to. They're not demanding you to, but they're just saying the reasons why you maybe should do something at least. But yeah, so and then they were clicking. There's actually another couple things there. They said too that if you wanted the town, you could either click check mark yes or no if you wanted the town to actually go under the township. It's either a yes or a no on that part of it, because I check mark no, because if it fell under that, well then we're fucked even more than we are now. But then they said if you wanted to run, then you could check mark which ones you wanted to do. So if you wanted to run for mayor, you could check mark it. If you wanted to run for council member, you could check it. Treasurer, whatever, do what you felt comfortable with doing. And so, well, I'm not going to do treasurer because that involves money, as far as I'm aware of, and I suck at counting money. My head would just explode, so I'm not going to play with that. Clerk, I think they handle the paperwork, but I'm not 100% sure. Or at least it's the bulk of the paperwork anyway. Probably more than what a mayor would do or whatever. And then there's mayor. Obviously, you kind of be like the top dog, top bitch kind of thing, for the town. And then there's the council member, which that little bit I'm confused about, but I mean you can look it up online, but I always kind of figured that a council member was kind of just more like an eyewitness to this, But I think they do something too, but I'm not really sure. But that part I'm not really sure. So, but I don't think they do too much, but for myself, I just clicked or check marked either council member or the mayor of this town. I mean, I'm not saying I'd win probably any of those, but basically I think they kind of want you on record too for in the future, so in case somebody else decides to say fuck you, I'm leaving, then they have your name and your number, so they can come and harass you later on. So, but not saying I'd probably be the best mayor in the world, because I don't really know much about being a mayor. I don't know much really about anything that they do for any of those type of people. But see, I think our meetings would be a lot different than like a city's or even a small town. Like we're a very small town, obviously, but so I think we can play. Well, I don't want to say like we can play different rules, but we can just do things a little bit differently, So, because like when I read online for like a massive city or whatever, like LA or New York City or whatever, they have meetings multiple times a week because it's obviously a big city, so there's a lot going on. Whereas I think like for us, since we're such a tiny little town, that we only have meetings once a year. But there's also another thing that I read saying that it's not even really recommended to have a meeting even once a year, unless it's really something important, like the dike failing or towns or the roads are breaking up, whatever. Like it's really important. But if there's nothing going on, there's nothing to really report, then you don't really have to have a town meeting. And this is public. This is, anybody can join, obviously. It's not a closed session or anything. So, I don't know. But kind of is what it is, you know. So, but that's really all that I checked was, you know, mayor. Even though I don't know much about being a mayor, but and then council member. Well, I can't remember exactly what they do, but I thought that they were just kind of like an eyewitness to everything. But I think they can still, like, if there is something to complain about, they can come to you, even, you know, if you're a council member. It's just the fact that you're on the damn thing. So regardless if you're, well, especially in this small town, it doesn't really matter. You could be a treasurer or a clerk. I think they can still come to you, and they could technically still report problems. But all they can really do is just pass on the message, right? Which it would go to either the council member or the mayor, whatever. So, I don't know. But it would, yeah, it would definitely be, it'll be kind of interesting, I guess, if I even go. I mean, I filled out the form, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to go. But I don't know. Because I don't know how many other people are going, you know, that's just kind of the thing. And my theory is they're probably going to want somebody that's older than me and that has more experience and so and so. But I've seen, there's a video on YouTube. Of course, this video's old now, but he was, I think, like 22 or 23 at the time, and he ran for mayor. Now, he lived in a, I don't want to say a small town, but it is a town, I think, that had like 700 people in it, maybe 800 people. Whereas here, you know, we have like maybe 50 or 60. And I think that's including all of the Brethren's cult members. Because they live here too, right? So I think that they would still qualify under that category. So, but for regular people, yeah, there's not as many. There's a few, but there's not as many. And most of them are just old people, you know, that are pretty much done, you know. They're pretty much going to kick the bucket any time. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's just, not saying that I would probably, I don't know, council member, I don't know if that would be too big of a deal or not. I think you're really just kind of more of an eyewitness to everything, you know, and whatnot. I mean, yeah, they can come to you and complain, which is fine as well. But running as a mayor, well, yeah, that's going to be a little more work. And I think the mayor is also the person that actually has to call the correct people when you have a problem that needs to be solved. Like, if the road fails, like, you know, the asphalt roads, if they bust up for some reason and they need to be replaced, you know, well, then it would be up to the mayor, I guess, to call and say, hey, we need this done, you know. But I don't know. I've heard too that you kind of have to have thick skin, you know, when it comes to being a mayor, because there's sometimes things will go wrong. And I do know about that. So, because I mean, yeah, I mean, you would think, oh, you deal with trespassers, that's not really a big deal. No, but it does give you a taste of what's coming, you know. You know, like let me use this as an example. You know, like, I think if you had, let's say if the road needed to be repaired, and you called the guys, say, hey, we need this road repaired, so on, here's the location, and yada, yada, yada. Well, if they tell you to go fuck yourself, then you can pretty much go tell them to go fuck themselves too, right? You know, you can actually, I mean, you kind of have to be aggressive, but not so aggressive that, you know, they send the cops after you, but you got to have thick skin, you know? You can't take bullshit, so I'm pretty sure that's pretty much what you can do there, as far as I know. But I don't know, it's pretty much just going to be whatever they want to do, you know, if they, it's going to be whenever. So I don't know how they're going to, I guess, with my, you know, like, if I won as, well, let's say if they picked me as council member, which would be a little bit better, I guess, than running for mayor, but I checked marked mayor as well. Those are really the only probably two that I'd probably be reasonably comfortable with. Treasurer, I want nothing to do with it because of the money thing. And clerk, well, I think that's just a shit ton of paperwork, and I suck at paperwork as well. So it's best just to stay away from them. So let somebody else handle that. So, but I don't know. It'll be interesting, I guess, if I do decide to go, it'll be interesting to see how many people actually signed up to do what they wanted to do. So, I don't know if they pick that night. I kind of doubt it. I think they would have to kind of look it over, think about it, And then I guess they call you. They say, hey, you won this or that. And if they don't call you, well, then you don't get shit. But I think there is a deadline, though, too. I'm not really sure. Can't remember now. I think they have to find people by a certain date, and I think that's of the new year. That's when they have to at least have people on the thing, or we lose this program. So we're kind of on a deadline, I guess, no matter how you look at it. So, but for them to pick, who's going to be what, I don't know if they do it on that same night or if they have to think about it for a few days or what. I'm not really sure. So I guess it'll be interesting if they who they pick for mayor. That'll be kind of interesting. But mayor and council member, because those are one of the two things I'm really concerned about. But those are the only two things that I feel comfortable maybe even attempting. But I think you have to run for at least a year. And then, you can run longer. I think the maximum is 4 years. But that's usually in a big, massive city because then you get greedy with power. But here, we're so desperate for people all the time that sometimes I think people can run longer. I know that the ex-mayor, which is what I call him because he used to run for mayor. He was mayor, I think, for a couple of years. He's my neighbor over here. He's the one that's letting us put our cattle on his little bit of land that he's got there. Obviously, I don't use his real name out of respect for his privacy. But I just call him the ex-mayor. So probably should find a different name because we had another mayor after him, quite a few after him actually. But but I don't know. So, but yeah, he was mayor for a couple of years, and we actually had to call him. Or our mother had to, at least anyway, because there was a package that supposedly got delivered. Mother was expecting a package, and I guess the guy didn't know where the fuck to leave it. He didn't know where our house was at. I don't know if we were living back at the farm at the time, or if we were here. I don't remember, but yeah, but we had to call him, and he had to run around and call all his people that he knew to see if they seen a package sitting somewhere or something. But I think he did. I'm pretty sure he did find it a few hours later, and then he brought it over. So, but I don't remember the full details of that because that's kind of a blurry memory. But now all I remember is that he was mayor for a couple of years. But he's never wanted to run again since then. I don't know why. I guess there's something fucky about this job. I don't really know. And supposedly you're supposed to get paid $100 a month or something like that. I can't remember. But I don't know. I think sometimes you can just volunteer too. Because I remember it saying something on that piece of paper, or what I read online is that they said that sometimes you can just run, voluntarily. You don't get paid for it, but I think most of the time you would get paid for it. So I don't know about here. I don't know if in this small town we get paid or not, or if you just fucking get nothing. You work for free. But if you did get paid an extra $100, I guess, a month for being mayor, it's an extra $100. So it's not a lot, but whatever. It's an extra $100 I could use, I guess. So, but I don't know. I don't know about council member. I don't know if you get paid doing that either. I kind of doubt it, but I don't know. If they don't pick me, that's fine. I don't care. I'm not here to judge who they pick. If they feel comfortable with somebody else being mayor or even council member or whatever, I don't care. I'm just letting you know that I am floating around, but they might need me in the future, but I might not want to do it in the future either, you know. I'm talking maybe 10, 15, 20 years down the road. I might be too busy doing something else, so that we'll see. But at the end of the day, it'll be up to them, you know, who they pick. So it's not going to bother me none. So, but yeah, so guys, I guess I'll probably take off. I just want to give you guys an update to what's going on, and yeah, snow's melting. 50s are coming, or 60s are coming, I should say. And then rainy and snowy. And then yeah, new heater installed, and maybe running for mayor or at least council member. I don't know, either one. Not saying I'm going to be the greatest at either of them, because I'm not too sure. I guess they would tell me what the jobs would entitle, you know, because here in this small town they're gonna be way different than in a city, you know. So, but I mean, for all I know, a council member here might just be like an eyewitness thing. You just witness everything, and then the people can come to you to bitch and complain. So, but. Which is fine too. I don't think it'll bother me too damn much, but you know. So, but looks like somebody's been fucking with Big Red again here. I don't know, my cover didn't put on all the way. There we go. But, I don't know. Huh. Whatever. So. Yeah, I just want to give you guys a little bit of a story, and yeah, my videos will probably start slowing down, guys. Just not really much to talk about. I know I've been wanting to do a cattle update or a red cow update. I just haven't gotten around to it. She's still alive. The calf is still alive. He's gotten bigger, but I imagine you guys would like to see an update video on him. Should probably do it sometime this week or next week, at least for sure, because we got nice weather coming. So, should probably get around to doing it. I did finally winterize the 1586, all 100%. Got the grill cover, or the grill thing in to protect the grill, so the wind can't come in through the grill. Got the side covers put on. Took the batteries out, obviously. The diesel fuel has already been winterized. And I put my looped hydraulic hose in the 15. Come to find out, if we had to, we could still feed with it in the wintertime with that dual on. I did walk out the gate, you know, how many feet, or how wide that gate is, and I think it was like a 12-foot or a 13-foot gate. 1586 is only 11 feet wide with the dual on it, so it should be tight, but she'll fit. So if we had to feed with it, we could fucking do it. It ain't gonna be a problem at all. So, and I did find a bale carrier, a brand new one, on a website. They want like almost $700 for it. So that might be another future project I want to buy too. But quite a few other things I want to do as well. So, but yeah. Anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. So I guess I have a good day and stuff. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.